pictures. During Black History Month and Women's History Month, we post a lot of pictures. Some of my pictures get circulated. If you didn't know, I was the first and only Black woman to fly the U-2 spy plane. There's one picture in particular that gets circulated a lot, and it's this one. It's me in front of the U-2 with my pressure suit on, and I'm holding my helmet and I'm smiling. This picture was taken in February of 2015. Public Affairs at Beale Air Force Base had done an article on me in celebration of Black History Month. So they wanted to take a picture to accompany the article. That day, to do the photo shoot in the morning, actually coincided with the Colonel promotion results for my year group. And so, not to get into it, a couple of months prior, there were some things that happened with me that made me feel that I was not going to get selected for Colonel. That morning when I woke up, I was not in a good mood. I didn't want to go to work. Like, it was just daunting to feel the fact that I was going to get into work, the results are out, and people are going to say, "Oh, Meryl, I'm sorry you didn't make it." Like, I didn't want to hear any of that. Like, I knew I wasn't going to make it. And so as I'm driving, I put on Rage Against the Machine, and I'm just in a sour mood. I almost turned my car around a few times because I was like, I can't. I think a lot of times people feel like that. There are times you want to go to work and you're like, I just can't deal with people today. I just want to be left alone. But in the back of my mind, I knew there was public affairs. There were people from the physiological support squadron that had my suit ready. I knew maintenance had taken out an aircraft. I knew there were people there that had done things for me to do a photo shoot. They took time out of their day to make sure my stuff was prepped so I could take some pictures to be featured in an article. And as much as I wanted to turn back around, the voice inside my head was like, hey, there are people counting on you. There are people who got up this morning for you. You better not disappoint them. You better not be a lame-o and try to snake your way out. You better suck it up. You better put on your big girl pants and let's go. And to the sound of Rage Against the Machine, I drove into work. And I put on a smile. No one knew. As soon as I turned off my radio, I opened the door of my car to step outside to go over to the flight line. No one knew what was going through my head. No one knew the emotional turmoil that was going on. All they saw was a lieutenant colonel being professional, gonna go put on my pressure suit and I'm gonna go out and take pictures. They're not gonna know. If you really knew how I felt that day, I felt awful. I felt terrible. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to go hit a punching bag. I wasn't in a good mood, but I sucked it up and I made myself in a good mood. Because there were people who were subordinate to me, who were watching me, who knew I set the example, and who knew that I always came in a certain way, and I wasn't going to disappoint them today because they showed up for me. Funny enough, I did the photo shoot, everything was great. I went back to the physiological support squadron. I was taking off my pressure suit. I was getting dressed, and the base commander comes in. He goes, "Meryl, I've been looking for you." And I kind of looked at him like, "Yes, sir, what do you want?" Like, I still wasn't in the mood. And he said, "I'm here to congratulate you on making Colonel." And I was like, "Say what now?" And he's like, "You made Colonel." And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And so he shakes my hand, he gives me a bottle of champagne, and he's like, you got some decisions to make. Because I was gonna retire. I had retirement orders in hand with a retirement order number. And now I had a line number to Colonel. So I tell you this story because, one, when you look at people's pictures, especially during Women's History Month and Black History Month, and you look at these smiles and you look at these proud stances, you have to wonder, what the heck did they go through? And what were they thinking really at that point? Were they dealing with some nonsense? Were they dealing with something emotional going on? Were they dealing with something that was agonizing them, but they still showed up? They still showed up, they still smiled, they still were proud because they knew they had to represent. And they knew that other people were counting on them. Other people were looking up to them. So I tell you this story because for all the women out there who think they don't have, they're empty in their tank and they got nothing more to give, you do. Show up. Show up for the people who look up to you. Show up because you do a daggone good job. Show up because no matter what you're going through, you're not going to let other people see what they're doing to you. You're always going to be professional, and you're always going to do the work, and you're always going to make people proud. All right. Stay focused, stay motivated, and have a great day. Oh, yeah. No matter what's happening, keep that smile going because it's all going to work out. Later.